Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer outline to the House how the Morrison government's plan for jobs growth is supporting Australian businesses and families during this pandemic?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Stirling for his question and acknowledge his distinguished service as an officer in the Australian Army, including serving abroad as well as in the private sector before coming to this place. Now, Mr Speaker, COVID-19 is a wrecking ball through the global economy. It's helped destroy some 500 million jobs, and according to the World Bank, we will see more economies contract this year as a result of COVID-19 since 1870. More countries will see their economies contract since the year 1870, Mr Speaker. Now, in relation to us here in Australia, the economic cost has been very high, and it's the highest right now in the state of Victoria, where people are doing it extremely tough with the stage 4 restrictions, and that's why, as the Prime Minister has outlined, we're providing every resource, either on the health side or also on the economic side, as possible. But, Mr Speaker, we are also seeing outside of Victoria the jobs starting to come back. Mr Speaker, our effective unemployment rate is at 9.9% today. It was 14.9% in April, Mr Speaker. In the last 2 months, we've seen 340,000 new jobs. 340,000 jobs have come back, Mr Speaker, and importantly, 58% of those went to women and 44% of those jobs went to young people, Mr Speaker. And we're seeing particularly strong growth in the state of New South Wales. And of the 1.3 million people who either lost their jobs or had their hours reduced to 0, more than half have now come back. Around 700,000, Mr Speaker. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The road will be bumpy, the road will be long, there is great uncertainty, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is where the Job Maker plan is doing its work in trying to get people back into work, with tax incentives, including the accelerated depreciation at 50%, including the extension of the instant asset write-off. What we're doing in bringing forward around $10 billion worth of infrastructure projects, 340,000 new positions and places, Mr Speaker, in terms of skills training and education, Mr Speaker. The work that we're doing to make it easier for businesses to stay in business, whether it's e-signatures and virtual AGMs, or the work that the State Treasurers and I have been doing in relation to harmonising occupational licensing, Mr Speaker. And of course the 50% wage subsidy for apprentices, and some 180,000 apprentices will benefit. This is the Job Maker plan. This is how we get people back into work after the biggest economic shock this country has ever seen. The plan is there and the plan is working.